Welcome to Microsoft 365 Excel, the complete story. And in video number 22, we're going to look at a common problem. How do you create reports when the fact table has an order date and a ship date? And of course, to maximize our fun, we're going to see how to do this three ways: Worksheet Formula, Power Query, and DAX. Now here's our sales column, and we have two date columns, order and ship. And if we want to create a side-by-side report for a given year, 2019, I need the ordered sales total and delivered sales total. Not only that, but I'd like to take a particular amount in a given year and break it apart into its two parts. This was ordered in 19 and shipped in 2019. But some of the original sales were ordered in 19, but shipped in 2020. So this is our side-by-side report, and this is our cross-tabulated report. Now we're going to see three examples of how to solve this problem. And in the data model, if we want two columns, each with different measures, we can actually learn how to use two different relationships connected to a single date column. That'll be our DAX solution. However, if we want a cross-tabulated report with a single measure inside the interior, we actually have to create two different date tables. That'll be our Power Query solution. And then finally, if you're using Worksheet Formulas, it's no problem because we can do whatever we want in the worksheet and point to whichever columns, cells, and tables we would like. All right, we'll start off with the Worksheet Formula Solution. Here's the file we're working in. Now, we could create a formula to extract the correct years. And in the finished file, I have a formula for that. But if we know what the years are, and in our case, it spans from 2019 to 22, I got a great date trick. I'm just going to type 1/1/2019, Control-Enter. And when I copy it down, a smart tag opens up, and I'm going to say, hey, fill years. And inside our formula, we're actually going to point to that as the beginning of the year. And then from that formula input, we'll also get the end of the year. But I definitely don't want the first of the year to show in the report. So let's Control-1. Down in Custom, I'm just going to show it as a year. Backspace. 3Y shows the whole year. Click OK. And the beauty of this is the report shows 2019, but of course, that's just number formatting. The beginning of the year is still in the cell and available for us to use inside our formulas. Now, here in the worksheet, we're going to be able to create a single formula and copy it over for both ordered and delivered sales. And that is in part because the two columns are right next to each other. When we get over to DAX, because we use a filtering mechanism, we'll actually have to create two different formulas. All right, our goal is to add from this column based on an upper and lower limit. That is, the first of the year and the end of the year. So the perfect function for adding with conditions is SUMIFS, sum range. We're going to need that locked as we copy to the side. And I don't like table formula nomenclature to do an absolute cell reference. So I'm going to do this trick. I highlighted one too many, F4, that locks it, backspace, and then I type a 2. And by the way, that range is just as dynamic as if we did the table name and column name for the table formula nomenclature. Comma. Criteria range 1, well, for the ordered sales calculation, we need to look at this column twice, upper and lower limit. Then when we copy it to the side, we need to look at ship date. Well, guess what? Table formula nomenclature is perfect for that. When you do a column reference, it's locked when you copy it down, but it moves as a mixed cell reference to the side when you copy it to the side. And for criteria 1, we have to put in double quotes greater than or equal to, and then join it to the first of the year. And remember, that's the first of the year. Now I'm going to highlight all of these so it spills down. We're still going to have to copy it to the side. I need to F4 to lock it across the columns, but not the rows, comma, criteria range 2. We have to look at this twice, comma. The next criteria is the upper limit, so whatever that is has to be less than or equal to. And we can't highlight these because that's the beginning of the year, but we can definitely do end of the month. As we saw in the last couple of videos, if I highlight this and hit the F4 key 3 times, well, that's the reference I want, but end of month and all the other analysis toolpack functions cannot handle a function argument array operation. So we have to coerce the function into understanding that we need 4 values to spill. So we put some math operation that doesn't change the value. I'm going to put double negative. You could also put +0. And we need to jump 11 months forward. That will give us 12/31 for whatever the year is. And when I Control Enter, those are the correct ordered sales for each one of the years. Now we copy it to the side. There's our delivered sales. We can come down to the bottom, Alt equals, Tab, Alt equals, and there's our report. Now for our cross-tabulated report, the first thing we want to do before we do our adding formula is I want to list years and years. So I'm simply going to spill the years that I created up here. And when I hit Enter, I have some rogue number formatting being pulled. But down here, it doesn't have number formatting. But that's OK. Remember, these are the first of the year. Control 1, I want to differentiate in the report between order year and ship year. Because if I have just 2019, 2019, it's harder to read the report. So in custom, we'll sort of do what we did just a second ago, Y. That gives me the year. But right at the beginning, we're allowed to display text without adding it to the cell by using double quotes. So order year, and I'm going to have a space. And now look at that. It says order year 2019. Click OK. That's perfect for the visual side of the report. But those begin of the year dates, we'll still use those in our formula. We'll do the same thing up here, but I'm going to use 2 row. You can also use transpose. And then highlight, Control 1, custom, in double quotes, SY, in double quotes, YYY. Click OK. Now the formula in this cross tab will be a single formula that spills based on order year conditions and the ship year conditions. Right here, it's going to have to do upper and lower limit for order and the upper and lower limit for ship date. In this cell, it will only pull when the date is 19 and 19. When it gets here, we have a 19 for order, a 20 for ship. So a record like this will be included here. Now the first part of our formula is exactly the same as up here for ordered sales. There's the sum range. We repeated the date column for order twice. And instead of looking up here, we're looking at these dates. So in criteria range 3, we select ship date, comma. This is the lower limit, so we use a comparative operator greater than or equal to, and we join it to the horizontal dates. The fact that SUMIFS has vertical and horizontal dates, when it spills, whatever the intersecting cell is, SUMIFS will know to get the row header condition and the column header condition. Then we have to repeat ship date, comma, less than or equal to end of month, double negative, horizontal dates, comma, 11, close, close. And when I Control Enter, there are the cross tab amounts. Now, ordered in 2019 is broken apart. Ordered 2019, shipped in 2019. Ordered in 19, shipped in 20. Now I can highlight, Alt equals, and in the margins here, that's exactly the same as the order date column. And down here, these are the same numbers as the delivered sales. Now, of course, with worksheet formulas, we don't have to do any data modeling. We don't have to use Power Query. We just point our formulas to wherever we would like. Now, next, we want to see how to do this with DAX. And I've already imported our sales table and a date table into the data model. Now here's the fact table, and here's our date table. And if we only had a single date, we would simply drag from the many side, the fact table, over to the one side. Now with that relationship, we can create a measure and use date in the row area to get the total ordered sales. And that's because there's a relationship between date and order date. But we need a second relationship. We need date to also go to ship date. Well, that's not directly allowed because this is a one-to-many relationship. But we can create an inactive relationship. And then inside of calculate, we'll use a special function that says, hey, don't use this one, but please use the relationship from ship date over to date. Now we can't drag and drop this, but we can go over to design, manage relationships. We see one right there, create. We want to go from ship date over to date, and then uncheck active. When I click OK, click close, now we have a second relationship, ... It is not the active relationship, but we can activate it using a function called USERELATIONSHIP. Now we go back over to Data View. Below our fact table, we'll call this ordered sales, colon equal sign, and I can simply sum our sales column. Add some number formatting. Remember, there's no filter context here, so that's all the sales. Now we can create shipped sales. But we can't use sum right away. We have to use the function that changes the filter context, calculate. Our expression is going to be sum of that column there, comma. And in the filter, this is where we use USERELATIONSHIP. You have to put the foreign key first, then the primary key. So F down to ship date. That's the foreign key, comma. There's the primary key. And that's our formula that will use that inactive relationship. Now this relationship only gets activated inside this measure. Add some number formatting. Both get the same number because there is no filter context in the measure grid. Back here in the worksheet, let's go to Insert, Pivot Table Dropdown, and Data Model. But as we've been doing throughout this class, we'll use our keyboard, Alt-NVD. Click OK. This allows us to access the data model. So from date, we want year. And that table has two different relationships, two different types of filtering. So when we drag ordered sales down to values, for 2019, that number right there, it's only looking through this column. So it sees every single cell in yellow right here, because those are the 19, and adds. But now when we drag the second measure down, because that measure is using the relationship to ship date, now it's only got the records, and I highlighted them in yellow, from the 2019s coming from this column. And that's how we create the side-by-side report. Now we could create our solution over here, and from the same data model have our crosstab and our side-by-side. But I'm going to keep this data model intact. We'll jump over to our Power BI file, do some Power Query magic, and create the crosstab report over in our Power BI desktop file. Now we have F sales and D date. And if we look at our final result here, crosstab table, we have to have one measure in the middle. So that means we have to have an attribute or dimension in both the row and column. And in order to get this to work, we're going to have to create two date tables, one shipping date table and one order date table. So we'll go back up to transform data, transform data. And the first thing I'm going to do is for date, I'm going to change the query name. This will be the order, because this is the date table that's connected through a relationship to order date in the fact table. And I want to be careful and name everything. I'm not going to use date, but just in case we did, there's a date over in the ship table, and I don't want to confuse them. So we're just renaming the columns. Now, order year is going to be convenient because when we drag this field, whoever's using this will understand this is order year. But we also want the unique list created in the visual to show order year or ship year. So let's add a prefix. We'll go up to Transform, Format, Add Prefix, Order Year, and a space. Click OK. And that is looking good. I'm definitely going to rename these steps. Now, after we rename everything, we want to copy this query. Right-click. And I don't want to reference. I actually want to bring the M code over, so I'm going to duplicate this. That way, I can just amend the M code and convert this to a ship date table. The first thing we'll do is we'll definitely change the query name. Come up to this step, F2, call it ship. And then for this step, right up in the formula bar, I'm just going to change order to ship. And I'll do that for each one. And enter. Now add prefix. Let's first change the query step name. We'll change it to S. This is now looking backwards to ship. And I want to change this from an O to an S. And there's our second date table. Now, if we close and apply, this will be sent to the data model. And now when I select ship date and bring it over to ship date, now we can simply drag ship year into the column, order year into the row, and that simple measure, just a sum, will work. Report view. We'll use a matrix. Order, we'll use order year into row, ship year into columns, and total sales, check. And there's our report. So when you have two different date columns in the fact table, you have to get a little tricky if you want your reports. We saw how to use Power Query to create a second date table. Then just use two relationships on two different dimension tables. That'll give us our cross-tab report. Then when we wanted a side-by-side report using the data model, we created an inactive relationship and then used use relationship inside of calculate. And of course, when we're in the worksheet, we have the freedom to use any cell reference and point anywhere we want. So we just use SUMIFS to make our two different reports. All right, that's it for MECS, Microsoft Excel, the complete story. That was a fun 22 videos. And now you are a master of Excel, Worksheet Formulas, Standard Pivot Tables, Power Query, M Code, Data Model, DAX, Power Pivot, and Power BI. All for free here at YouTube from Excel is Fun. All right, we'll see you next awesome video class.